You're not gonna make it. No, you ain't gonna make it. You're not gonna make it, but you can. Welcome to You're Not Gonna Make It, where I discuss threats to your physical and mental health, and find ways to deal with them too. I'm your host, Kevin. Did you know that January 15th is Quitters Day? That's when most people kind of give up on their New Year's resolutions. And I gotta tell you, I'm recording this about a week before that, and I already see a lot fewer people in the gym than just a few days ago. So it's not looking good. In fact, by mid-February, that's when about 80% of New Year's resolutioners just straight up are done. They gave up. If this applies to you and you ask yourself questions like, why can't I stick to my diet? Why do I always quit by mid-January? Then sit down, subscribe, and relax, because I'm about to get into it. You probably think it's entirely a you problem. You're too weak, lazy, no discipline. Some of this might be true. Let's be real. And honestly, the fitness industry wants you to think that because then they can sell you a bunch of shit. But it might not be you who sucks. It might just be the design of the goal, your planning, your systems. Now, you work at a desk, probably work in tech. You know systems, and it's wild that you're not using good ones for this goal. The biggest mistake people make, in my opinion, is having a vague goal. When I was an in-person personal trainer, I lost count of how many people came to me and said, I just want to be healthier. My man, my woman, what the fuck does that mean? Or I just want to feel a bit better. I want to lose a bit of weight. I don't want to sound like a robot here, but I need some fucking numbers. Or I need something specific. If you don't know what a SMART goal is, I'll tell you. It is the antidote to this vague bullshit that never gets anywhere. A SMART goal is a specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound goal. SMART. First one, S. Specific means that it's specific. Don't say, oh, I just want to get healthier. Say, I want to lose 30 pounds. Great. We got it. It could be something else too. It could be, I want to overhead press 90 pounds, whatever. Or I want to run a mile in X minutes. It's got to be specific. Now, once you make it specific, you can also make it measurable. You want to lose 30 pounds. Cool. You can measure when you've lost 1 pound, 2 pounds, 5, 10, 15. You want to run that faster mile. You could literally see how much time it takes you. You want to move a certain amount of weight. You measure the weights up to the goal. Very easy. Once you have a specific goal, the measuring part of it becomes pretty easy as well. And an example too, if you specifically want to get to a specific, let's say pant size, you can measure that too. Measure your waist. Very easy. Next, the A is achievable. Now, this is something that some people mess up. They say, hey, I want to lose 100 pounds by next month. That's not fucking achievable unless you're doing liposuction. Or I want to run way, way, way faster by next week. That's not going to happen. This needs to be achievable. Now, if you're beginning, you might not have an idea of what achievable is. So in that case, I do recommend some research. But if you don't want to do a bunch of research, I would recommend doing this. Think about what you think may be reasonable of a time frame or reasonable in possibility, and then just kind of double it, if that makes sense. Like you're saying, I want to lose 100 pounds in 6 months. Just double that. Just do that at least. If you have no idea, obviously, for something more accurate, do a little bit of research to see how much this will take. That's a better option. But in your head, basically overshoot it a lot because it's not happening when you want it to happen. Next is R for relevant. And this is more of an emotional kind of, maybe even a philosophical part of the goal. It has to align with what you want. Let's say you want to lose 30, 40, 50, 60 pounds. If your goal is, I want to reach a 365 pound deadlift, that is cool, but it has nothing to do with you losing 60 pounds. So you can do that maybe as a separate goal. But on the way to your goal of losing 60 pounds, if you're trying very specifically and measuring your way to a 365-pound deadlift, you might find that it's a bit challenging mentally to continue because it has nothing to do with what you're trying to do. So if your goal is weight loss, if you're going to focus on any kind of exercise, I would say cardio, although just general activity is good, but the majority of the focus and the relevancy would be food-based, intake-based actions if we're talking about, a goal of losing 60 pounds or so. Final one, T for time-bound, which means similar to the achievable one, it has to make sense. You can't say, I want to change my entire body, my entire capability, and I want to do it now. No. You got to find out how long this will take, not only for the entire goal, but also in terms of milestones. Some people don't think about that. They just say, I want to lose 100 pounds in 2 years. Cool. That is very cool. However, you need to lose the first 5 pounds first. So set a time for that. Maybe first 5 pounds in a month, maybe 2, if you want to take your time with it. But setting deadlines for these goals is very important. If you're like, I want to lose 10 pounds in 3 years. I mean, it's possible you'll hit that. It's also possible you won't because there's no urgency at all. You can 3 years, who cares? You're not gonna remember or care about. It's not gonna be on your mind, part of your habits, your routines, if it's 3 years away for something like that. You need a deadline of some kind. It doesn't have to be a specific thing that if you miss, you explode. Just have something there so that you can plan for it. If you say, I want to lose 5 pounds in the month, okay, I got to lose 1.25 pounds per week. And then you can change everything to make it so you will reach that. You can plan for it. That's what you want to do. So you can imagine if back in the day when I was doing this in person, if I got a client who came in saying, I just want to be a bit healthier. Think about what I can do for him versus someone else who comes in and she says, I want to lose 10 pounds in 3 months for a wedding that's coming up because I want to fit in a specific dress that I wasn't able to fit in before. Or rather that she was able to fit in before, but not now. You can imagine, I can really, really cater to what she wants because I know exactly what she wants and how to get there and how to measure it and plan as such. But for the other guy, he comes in saying, I want to be a bit healthier. I'm like, well, I guess I will help you with what the majority of people want to do. We'll work on some patterns, movement patterns, and have you track your food, which you probably won't do because your goal is very vague. Which, in my experience, people they work in vague goals, they don't do too well when they have to put in specific actions. They're more comfortable doing vague actions. I'm going to just exercise. I'm going to just eat better. And where does I usually get them? We don't know because they don't fucking keep track of anything. Nothing specific. Nothing is on anything at all. We just don't know. It's too vague. So in my opinion, just having a vague goal is the biggest killer. And the other killer is as well starting a lifestyle change because the calendar said so. That's not good enough. I'm sorry, but it's not. Obviously, if you're one of those people who sticks to it, you're like, all right, it's January 1st. I'm changing my life. And you stick with it, kudos. That's very rare and a little weird, but good on you. It doesn't work for most people. Because what got them started on this goal was a flip of the calendar, not a desire, ambition, or specific end goal. Now, here's a way that you can make the New Year's resolution work for you in a SMART goal way. Since we want to be specific with our goals and measure things and have time-bound stuff, January 1st is actually a pretty good time to start measuring stuff. You have the beginning of the year. You can start at the beginning of the month, the first day. Oh, I want to lose 60 pounds. Great. That is exactly 5 pounds per month. A little over 1 pound a week for the rest of the year. That is great to work with. You can imagine just the tracking of this is going to be awesome. It's going to be easy. The issue is if you're someone who will wait till January 1st, then this goal probably wasn't that important for you. So the relevant part of the SMART goal, well, might not be super strong, maybe. I mean, the goal could be pretty relevant, but in your mind, it won't be that important, possibly. Same for the T part, the time-bound part. I mean, you wouldn't be waiting until next year, right? Chances are it doesn't really matter enough for you to do that. So starting in January 1st is not going to just change everything so that it matters more to you. And that this timeline, deadline thing was going to be the number one option for you. Probably won't matter. So systems-wise, starting in January 1st can actually be pretty cool and convenient. But the thing is, if you're doing that, you're probably not one of the people who can do that. And if you are one of those people, leave a comment. Prove me the fuck wrong. I'm totally cool with that. If you're like, hey, I started January 1st, I did exactly what you're saying, measured everything out perfectly, you're a fucking loser. Great, fine. I will be the loser if you lost that weight, gained that strength goal, whatever it is. I'm happy to be the loser there. The thing is, for most people, it doesn't work that way. So these vague goals, because the calendar says so, they're not worth that much. Now, once you have one of these SMART goals, a very specific goal, you pretty much know what to do, right? But day to day, with your job, it's probably a pain in the ass. So I'll give you some tips and options to stick to your SMART goal as best as possible. This one, this tip or option is probably the easiest one because you're adding, which will naturally make you reduce a bit of, stuff that might not be good. Get a bunch of protein in the morning. I'm talking like 30 grams, 25, 30 grams in the morning or more if possible, along with a bunch of water in the morning too. What this will do is make you feel pretty damn full in a good way, and you'll be less likely to snack by, 10 a.m. at your desk. By the way, if you keep shit snacks in your desk, swap it with something else or take them away because that's not helpful. I recommend a swap of what? Maybe bring some baby carrots every day or so. I'm not going to say I'm not going to recommend a snack to leave in your desk so you can just take whenever, because if something lasts that long, it's probably not great for you anyway. So something like baby carrots would be good to bring in there. Just, something to chew on. I'm someone who likes to snack too. I will literally just buy carrots because sometimes I want to eat something, but I don't want to take in all those calories. So the carrot lets me do that. Get baby carrots. Each baby carrot's like 5 calories per. You're talking about a big full carrot. That whole thing is like 100 maybe, and it takes you forever to eat. So pretty good. So once you have the extra protein and water in you in the morning, you're going to feel pretty good for a while. That'll be helpful. You don't have to cut anything out. Naturally, you might want to eat less, but you won't have to cut anything. Another option would be, and I don't know if I recommend this for everyone, but it can work. You can eliminate something. One food group, one thing. Let's say fast food, cut that out for 30 days, see how you go. Or liquid calories. If you drink a bunch of the Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts stuff, cut that out for a month, see how it is. Or if you like to buy chips or gas station shit, cut that out for 30 days, see how it is. Now, this can work for some people, but not everyone, because if you cut something out, your brain's like, I'm missing out. Oh my God, I'm going to panic. And you feel bad. So don't necessarily recommend it. Instead of cutting, you can swap if you want to. But the point is, something that is harming you is going to have to be changed during this one. Just try that. But choose like a group, like liquid calories, like the quote unquote coffee parfaits or bags of chips or whatever it is. Or if you go to KFC all the time, cut all that shit out, or one of those things out for 30 days. See how you just see how you feel, see how it is, or swap it. See how you feel. Just try that. There's another path I recommend, another option. This one is the most challenging by far, but is also the most effective by far. And it's what I do. You just track a bunch of stuff. Now, in this case, it's not as challenging as the one that I do. I track pretty much all my calories. But to start off, what you can do is just track your macronutrients. I'm talking proteins, fats, carbohydrates. If you need to care about just one, just track the proteins. But I would track most of the foods that you eat, or At least a meal a day, please. But most of the food that you eat, and then check what the macros are like. That way you get a feel for what you're eating. You'll see, oh, this thing I eat, it has this much protein, or every day I'm getting 200 grams of fats and 40 grams of proteins. That's why I'm fucked. You'll have an idea of what you're supposed to be, of what you are intaking and how you can adjust. Now, the ratio, it depends on what you want, but about 40-ish percent should be carbohydrates. A big part should be carbohydrates. The next big chunk will be pretty big, but not as big as carbohydrates usually. Maybe you can match carbohydrates, but usually it's not going to be as big. Maybe 30, 35% will be protein. And then the rest, whatever that is, whether it's 10, 15, 20%, that should be fats. Ideally, good healthy fats from, nuts or olive oil or something like that. That is pretty much the ratio you should aim for. Obviously, if you want to bump up the protein a bit more, that's totally fine. But just track most of what you are putting into your body, and then just take a look at the macros. If it's somewhat similar to what I was saying, the ratio, then that's good. If it's way off, again, like the fats are, 65%, look into what's causing that. It could be holding you back. And like I said, try as best you can. Just even if it's one meal a day for like a month, just try, see what's going on. Just track it. Now, this is the most annoying option because, you got to keep track of everything. Instead of just adding a big thing or removing or swapping a big thing, you're just tracking most things. Personally, I like doing the third one I mentioned, just tracking stuff, because then I know what's going on. But it doesn't work for everyone, especially not at the beginning. That's wild to have right at the beginning tracking absolutely everything. Even my current clients, like just track one entire day. Just track a meal, 3 days out of the week first, please, and then a week or two later, just track a full day. Just ease into it, because once you ease into it, it's more likely that it can be kept up with. If you're like, hey, we're starting track everything right now, and they're like, what the fuck's a calorie? Then there's some trouble there, of course. So this week, that's Quitter's Day. Don't be a statistic. Don't be a bad statistic. Be one of those. Be a statistic that has a low percentage. You're the cream of the crop. Be that. Don't be the 80% that fucking quits. I know you can do it. I did. I lost 100 pounds just brute forcing, trial and erroring my way until I eventually figured out what to fucking do, and that is keeping somewhat of track of what I'm eating. So don't quit. Give it a shot, please, or you're not going to make it.